Relax and let TNT work a 3-day shift.
There's a lot to do here.
3 days of war.
I'll take a hamburger.
3 days of adventure.
I live for the day I see you hang.
3 days of raw. So take it easy and let us work 3 days of overtime. TNT's Labor Day weekend movie continues tomorrow on TNT.
Well, the New Orleans Saints have held the Houston Oilers to only 7 points here in the first half. That doesn't really surprise you very much because last year the New Orleans Saints led the entire league in points.
Yeah, it's like I said, and missing the field goal, I think, right before the halftime was a big blow to Houston as well. And that guy, Wade Wilson, he said, I want to stay in the pocket, I'm going to take some licks, but we're going to make some plays. And he's done that in the first half.
9 of 16, 142 yards. As we get ready now, Del Greco kicking off to start the second half. It's going to be Tyrone Hughes. 5th round draft choice out of Nebraska, brings it up to the 17-yard line. New Orleans will set it up there. Wade Wilson, who has kept his poise even though there's been people in his face. Been able to control this game and thus far have a 13-7 lead.
They have controlled it. The biggest surprise, I think, has been the Houston defense. This is supposed to be a pressuring, in-your-face, blitzing kind of defense, and they really haven't been able to cause the turnovers. Remember, Houston, their defense last year ranked highly, but they couldn't make the plays to stop drives, and they only had 31 turnovers.
3 wideouts on this play as they begin the second half from the Louisiana Superdome. Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden as we start the 93 season, game number 1. Wilson gives off to Lorenzo Neal, breaks the tackle to Bubba McDowell, and finally Marcus Robertson bulldogs him down. And that is what this guy has impressed us so much with, is how tough he is to tackle one-on-one Lorenzo Neal.
You know, Jim Moore said he's a horrible practice player. Just horrible. She'd cut him as a practice player. But when they gave him the ball in the preseason, he makes plays like this. He just bounces off guys. I mean, he keeps people away from his legs with the straight arm, and he bounces outside.
And he bounces to a first down. He was our leading rusher in the preseason, forced into a starting role because Brad Muster is out. Neal again. And Neal to the 32-yard line. Eddie Robinson made the stop there. Remarkably, as we said earlier, he was the WAC heavyweight wrestling champion. That's quite a combination.
Well, he looks like a wrestler. I mean, look at those arms and legs. I mean, he is a rookie. He was excited about opening the season. He said, you know, my first goal was to make the team. And then it was to kind of play special teams in the opener. And then when Brad Muster went down, he says, hey, all of a sudden I'm starting.
And he stepped forward and done a good job with that opportunity. 2nd and 7. Little handoff on the draw to Derek Brown, and Brown, another 4th round draft pick. 2 rookies acquitting themselves well. A 14-yard pickup out across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, there's some nice blocking there. Derek Kennard, number 60, is the right guard. The center, Jay Hilgenberg, 77, William Rofe. All those guys, a perfect call. Everybody's coming upfield on the pass rush. Port, number 70, does his job. Gaping hole for the perfectly called play, the little draw play on an upfield rushers.
First down at the 45. Brown and Neal in the backfield. It'll be Brown. Brown, nice little move. A flag on the play. Fumbles the ball. It's going to be recovered, though, by Eric Martin inside the 40-yard line. But the penalty is going to be holding against New Orleans.
You know, the thing about Eric Martin, though, when he gets his hands around the ball, I mean...
Holding, number 62, offense. 10 yards, first down.
When Eric Martin gets his hands around the ball, even on the recovery there, I mean, it just kind of disappears. I mean, he's got incredibly strong hands.
Jay Hilgenberg guilty of holding.
On Childress, number 62. Yeah, that qualifies as a hold.
Yeah, I think that's not a subtle one at all.
No.
But again, give credit to Jay Hilgenberg. 34 years old, coming in with a week to get ready to start at center, replacing his brother Joel, who's down with a knee injury. So the penalty makes it 1st and 20.
Here's where the Oilers defense on this series really have to make a play. And again, the Saints have it going again.
Wilson to Eric Martin, and Martin with yet another catch, his 6th of the game, out to the 41. Darrell Lewis wrestles him down there. 6 for 94 yards. 3 straight years Eric Martin has been over 1,000 yards receiving. Marks it out to the 42. Still going to be a long ways to go for that first down. It'll be 2nd down and 14. Wilson to Martin, and again he makes the catch. He caught that ball over Steve Jackson. It looked like Jackson had him covered very well, and Martin reaches up and catches one for a 21-yard gain.
William Rofe, number 77, on Fuller, number 95 for the Oilers. Rofe, we talked about him being the #1 draft pick. That time he just gets barreled over by William Fuller. But this was a remarkable catch. Again, when the thing gets near him, his hands get up in time. And again, there's no bobble when he catches the ball. When the ball is thrown his way, he gets his hands on it. There's no bobble. You can't knock it away out of his strong hands.
First down at the 41-yard line. Derek Brown quickly off the mark to the 31-yard line. He exploded that time as he got through that little crease in the middle, and he has, it looks like, another first down.
Jim Mora was talking to us the other day about, hey, we've been horrible running the football. Well, he's got a couple questions so far answered about his 1993 team. It looks like, it appears that they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit better, particularly behind William Rofe. And secondly, Wade Wilson, certainly off the first 2.5 quarters, he's a capable quarterback that's played very well against the Oilers.
It is a first down at the 31. Again, this time a lot of congestion up the middle. Not much going that time. Robinson, number 50, now a little extracurricular activity going on. Derek Kennard not happy about the way he's being treated. Kennard and Rofe on the right side of that offensive line. They've been running right behind him.
And Derek Kennard's a big guy to run around, but if you're a little defensive back, like in your number's 25, you don't pick on those 60s. Guy with a 60, you don't match up. And that's what happens. Yeah. Come on, Wade, get over there and help him a little bit.
41 yards rushing on this drive. I mean, only 24 in the first half for New Orleans. 2nd down. 9 yards to go. Wide open to Brown. Brown with a move to try to get the first down. He got it with a good, resourceful effort inside the 20 to the 19. Bubba McDowell finally tackled this guy. He's not all that big, but he is strong at 5'9" and 186.
Give Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator, some credit because he has done a lot of mixing it up here. This time it's a quick rhythm pass. If you're going to beat a blitzing defense, get rid of the ball quickly. I tell you, McDowell wrapped him up there, but he could not stop it. The churning Brown.
Boy, he knew where he had to get for that first down. 11-yard gain. There's Carl Smith.
He's done a nice job of play calling tonight.
They've been criticized for being conservative, but they've been very imaginative here tonight.
Yeah, that was a nice call there.
Lorenzo Neal to the 10. He just knocked over somebody and takes it to the 5. That somebody was Marcus Robertson.
Look at him. You think he's proud of himself? When he was walking back in the huddle, he should be.
13-yard run, 1st and goal for the Saints.
I say you can't arm tackle Lorenzo Neal, as William Fuller finds out. I mean, Neal is 240 pounds, and it's going to take a lot more than an arm, and it's going to take a lot more than a helmet or a shoulder pad, and it's going to take a couple of guys to bring down Lorenzo Neal. I mean, this drive has been longer than Bonanza was on the air.
He doesn't like those takedowns. Those wrestlers don't like it. 1st and goal at the 6. Here's Neal again, turning the legs, getting something where there wasn't much there. Just inside the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal.
His helmet and everything.
Think about this team. Craig Ironhead Haywood goes to Chicago. Brad Muster comes here, and they get a ironhead type running back out of Neal.
You know, again, you find out something about your team generally in the preseason. And what Jim Moore found out about Lorenzo Neal was he had a gamer, a guy that looked horrible in practice but played well when it counted. He's done it again tonight.
Second and goal for the 4, the 11th play of the drive. Derek Brown fighting for the goal line. No indication that he got in. He's going to be denied the touchdown. It'll be 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Let's look at it again.
A big hole there as the right side just kind of comes down. Port number 7, he comes around, puts the block on Barrow, and then Brown just follows that. But it was a good pull and block by number 70, Chris Port, who led the way for Brown.
Look at Bubba McDowell. He about took his head off.
He's keeping him out of that end zone. I think the ball may have actually hit the plane of the goal line there. That may have been a touchdown. That should have been a touchdown.
And we're going to have a timeout called by the Saints. We'll come back 3rd and goal at the half-yard line. The Saints trying to build their 13-7 lead.
Get ready for the all-new Utah Jazz case lot sale. 24 games, 24 teams, 24 coats. That's right, you'll see the Jazz take on the superstars of the NBA in the same reserve seats for 24 amazing games, including the Chicago Bulls, the Phoenix Suns, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Orlando Magic, and every other team in the NBA except New York and New Jersey. And you'll get a case of Coke Classic Diet Coke or Sprite free. Order your Utah Jazz case lot package today. Call
355 Coke.
McDonald's, huh?
Yeah.
Smells good.
Thanks.
If this ride were any longer, you'd have to fight for those fries.
We're stuck.
The Electronics Place, Utah's newest electronics superstore, celebrates Labor Day with their incredible grand opening sale. Unbelievable prices in all departments. VHS video recorders from $139. Remote control color TVs from $169. Epson 486 notebook computer, $12.99. Magnavox 25-inch color TV, $2.99. Come help us celebrate at 7200 South State Street. The Electronics Place. We beat any price.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited.
Gary, I thought maybe Derek Brown got the ball into the end zone, but I guess they ruled that he was stopped short, and they put it down on the inside the 1.
And it's a 3rd and goal here. Neal and Brown on the backfield. Here comes Brown. Brown diving again. No hands in the air indicating a touchdown, so it'll be 4th and goal now. And they're going to bring in Morton Anderson. But this is a wise call because if you kick a field goal, it gives you a 16-7 lead, and a touchdown and a point after can't tie it up.
Well, there's some debate whether Derek Brown got in on one run a couple of plays ago, but nonetheless, they take the easy course here. It's the right call when your defense is playing as well as they are.
And Mr. Automatic coming in here. 22 in a row now. This will be an 18-yard attempt. You don't like this?
No, I think it's the right call now because of the way the defense is playing.
All right, Anderson kicks it, and we go to 16-7. 6:51 left to go here in this 3rd quarter. Very impressive drive, taking over 7.5 minutes to culminate into 3 points.
Even if you can afford some of life's luxuries, you still need a way to get them home. Which is why the Isuzu Trooper comes with a cavernous amount of cargo space. 90.2 cubic feet to be exact.
850, known bid 850. Masha, sold to the gentleman in the blue blazer.
Plus, it's got a rather large towing capacity. The Isuzu Trooper, practically amazing.
Ain't it right, so sight, puts up a fight, so sight, stay so bright. beautiful sight, blue sight, pure delight, blue sight, dynamite, blue sight, scrubs up right, excite, blue sight, weather tight, blue sight, feels so right, blue sight, black and white, colors bright, hold on tight, blue sight, a lasting sight, blue sight, for a finish that won't quit, blue sight, right.
My family has been brewing beer around here for 120 years. Every now and then, I think that's a big accomplishment. That's when it's time to come out here. It's nice to get a little perspective.
Sunday night NFL on TNT. The rivalry between the Raiders and Seahawks goes beyond words. Better not sit too close to this one. Raiders, Seahawks. Next Sunday night on TNT.
16 unanswered points now by the Saints. 16-7 lead. That last drive taking 8 minutes and 9 seconds as Anderson with his 5th touchback of the game. You just don't get a chance to return a kickoff against Morton Anderson. Well, he kicked his 23rd straight field goal a moment ago. Let's go back and watch the snap.
Yeah, this is called get a grip on it, Jay. Jay Hilgenberg. You know, quarterbacks sometimes don't like the grip. Centers don't like it. Kind of flipped it around twice and ended up right where he started. I can tell that's Jay and not Joel. Can't you?
I'm not going to ask how you can.
Anyway, a good snap there by Jay Hilgenberg. That runs in the family. There he is. Dad was a center. He's a center. Brother's a center.
From the 20-yard line, first down. Houston needs to get something going. They pick up the blitz well. The pass bobbled by Slaughter, but he catches it on the second attempt and gets the first down. Troy Cook was on a blitz, and they picked him up. That'll be a 13-yard gain. The first half started out very well on the initial drive. Look at that, 11 plays, 80 yards. Look at this now. Fumble, punt, and a missed field goal. And they've had 2 11-play drives. And on the other end, the Saints really have gotten some continuity going offensively.
Yeah, the Saints have done a great job of really just kind of dinking the ball here, dinking the ball there, reading the blitz, calling the right draw. And their defense has played great.
Third on a first down. Catch is made by Jeffries inside the 50 to the 48 of New Orleans.
Now, Warren Moon said to us yesterday, he said, you know, what kind of matchups do you like in this game? He said, I like anybody that matches up with Haywood Jeffries. Whoever covers Haywood Jeffries, I want to pick on him because I think Haywood Jeffries can get open, he can come back to the ball, and make plays like that.
19-yard gain to the 49-yard line of the Saints. So on 2 completions now, the Oilers have crossed the midfield stretch.
Well, they have not run a screen yet, and it's available against the zone defense of the Saints.
Slaughter goes in motion. 5:30 to go in the third. Moon, 3 in a row now. This time he goes to Gibbons. 3 Pro Bowl receivers he's throwing to. All of them in the Pro Bowl a year ago. First time in history that 3 guys from the same team could get that honor. Jeffries, Gibbons, and Duncan. And then Slaughter was in the Pro Bowl when he played with the Cleveland Browns. So what an arsenal he has.
Yeah. Gibbons, 37 touchdown receptions over the last 8 years.
Look at the distribution,
Moved it around. I think that's what makes them difficult to defend. It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to go out and try to double cover one receiver, but you can't do it. They attack on every play.
2nd and 1. Moon again. And being wrestled for, and Troy Cook has it. Troy Cook will be intercepted. He just took it away from Curtis Duncan.
Troy Cook is having a great game. He really is. Number 41 right there at the top of the screen. I mean, he reads it perfectly. He's not the fastest corner in the league, but he's one of the smartest. Read the pattern, drove on time, makes the interceptions, and the Saints have a first down in the ball again.
Brussels to Budapest, Milan to Munich. Delta gives you more non-stops to more cities in Europe than any other airline in the world. 290 weekly flights. 21 countries. More Europe, more often. Nobody gives you more of Europe than Delta Airlines.
Okay, pull away from the curb and take a left at the end of the block.
Yes, sir.
Is this a new trooper?
Yes, sir. It's my mom's.
Tell you what, take a right instead.
Yes, sir.
If ever there was an excuse for driving a little bit out of your way, this is it.
Very nice.
Wait, I didn't get to parallel park.
You're right.
The Isuzu Trooper, practically amazing.
Very nice.
Warren Moon had hit 3 in a row. Looked like the rhythm was back. They had their offense really going. Then Toy Cook, who's played so well, comes up with the interception.
You know, we talked about him. This is a guy that's not necessarily the quickest corner in the league, but what he does is he reads patterns well. I mean, and that's one of those momentum changers that the Saints have done so well on defense tonight, where they haven't gotten that from the Oiler defense. And again, that's what Buddy Ryan was brought in to do, to change the momentum on defense. They haven't done it, but the Saints have.
Cook has a sack, 5 tackles to go with that interception. Remember, he had an interception called back by a penalty in the first half.
Right.
Sets it up now at the 39-yard line. Wade Wilson and the Saints with a 16-7 lead. Slant, and Martin takes a pop on that. Even Martin couldn't hang on to that one, as Marcus Robertson was there. Big hit separated him from making another catch.
Inside man on the top of the screen is Eric Martin, and it's the free safety who gets a full run on it, Marcus Robertson.
Ooh. It'll take your arms off, won't it?
Yeah, but that's the kind of play the defense is going to have to make if the Oilers are going to get back in this game. Remember, the Saints are up 16-7, and as soon as they cross the 50-yard line, you got Morton Anderson.
Second down and 10. Turner goes in motion. Little flare pass to Derek Brown. Nice open field move, but Eddie Robinson read it and stayed with it. Eddie Robinson has graded the highest of any of their linebackers the last 2 games, and his dad works here in the Superdome. He's from the Louisiana area, went to Brother Martin High School in the New Orleans area.
Yeah, his dad is the events coordinator here, and you know, Buddy Ryan was saying about Eddie Robinson is that he's good for 2 or 3 big plays a game. He did it last year for the Oilers, did it in the preseason, and he needs 1 or 2 here in this second half.
3rd and 6 now for the Saints. Wilson. Complete to Quinn Early, and Early to the 40, first down. Early, their fastest wide receiver, just latched on to a 17-yarder, his first catch of the season.
This offensive line has done a fabulous job of protecting Wade Wilson. Watch these guys. There's a big old pocket. No, everybody comes outside, but Wade Wilson can step up into the pocket. And when you do that, you have a chance to pick out some lanes, find receivers, you see the whole field, and you can lead the receiver. I mean, that was just, that's where it all starts with those big old offensive linemen.
Quinn Early was a track star when he was in high school in the New Jersey area. The 17-yard gain to the 40. Here's Neal again. Neal inside the 40 to the 39 and shoved backwards. Right now, the Saints doing exactly what they want. They have a lead. They're taking some time off the clock, keeping Warren Moon off the football field.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect script. Absolutely perfect script. Now you're virtually in range for Morton Anderson. I mean, you can put yourself up to force the Oilers to score 3 times to beat you. And on this Saint defense, it's just not going to happen.
2nd down and 9. Brown and Neal in the backfield. Wilson. Catch is made inside the 30. That's Early coming back to the ball. And they have another first down.
And Gary, there's still a lot of football to be played. 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the 3rd quarter. Saints up 16-7. But if Wade Wilson doesn't turn this ball over, the Saints are going to win this football game, the way their defense is playing. The only way I think the Saints can lose is by negative plays, a sack and a fumble or an interception. But again, good protection, throw the ball away from the defender and pick up a first.
Ball at the 29, a minute 50 now left in the third quarter. Sprint draw handoff to Brown, and Brown makes something out of nothing. He was able to run through the grasp of Sean Jones, stay on his feet for maybe a couple of yards. It'll bring up a second down. Second down, virtually 9 yards to go.
Oh, William Rofe out there is hustling, number 77, the right tackle. Now, you have to be able to block big defensive linemen, big defensive ends. Then you have to block some quick linebackers as well. I mean, it wasn't a dominating block, but he did get Eddie Robinson out of the way.
William Rofe, first round, 8th pick in the draft, and he's going to be around a long time. The ball intended for early. He tried to adjust to it. Coverage by Jackson and also Darrell Lewis.
You know, that was a nice play by Steve Jackson, number 24, but he had a chance to pick it off. And at this point in this game, this is the time he had to. He's number 24 at the top. He gets turned, sees the ball. Now he's got to go make a play, make an interception, turn the game around. I mean, yeah, he knocked it away, but that, that's the difference. I mean, that's the problem with the Oilers' defense. They didn't make last year the game decider plays, interceptions, fumbles.
Boy, this quarter, New Orleans has had the ball 11 minutes and 49 seconds. Third down, virtually 10. Scrambling out, complete to Dalton Hilliard. He'll lose yardage. It'll bring up fourth down, but you still have Morton Anderson well within his range. This will be about a 47, 48-yard field goal. I think some people were skeptical that Wade Wilson was the move they needed to make when Bobby Hebert elected to go elsewhere. They didn't want to go through another holdout year with Hebert, and so they bring Wilson from Atlanta. Hebert ends up in the Falcons territory, but he has really done a job in this first game. Now, this would tie the record by Kevin Butler, a 47-yard attempt. His fourth attempt of the night. Anderson's kick is on the way, and he has tied it.
He deserves a record.
24 field goals in a row. 19-7. The Saints.
Several years ago, I was introduced to Spartan while using my influence as a sportscaster to buy my son a new Jeep at another dealer. Oh, my son walked in by himself at Spartan and got a better price. So much for influence. My latest choice, this 94 Grand Cherokee. Ready for a new Jeep or Eagle? See the guys who let you choose the terms. Summit, Vision, Talent, with rebates up to $2,500. Your rebate can lower monthly payments $150. Use it for a down payment or just keep the cash. At Utah's Choice, Spartan Jeep Eagle.
One MRI scan, $1,100.
There's no question healthcare costs are high.
2 pain relievers, $5.
That's why you need someone to work in your behalf to lower those costs.
1 hospital stay per night, $1,500.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield, we don't own hospitals or employ physicians.
1 open heart surgery, $30,000.
Our only job is to manage your healthcare dollars.
1 human life, absolutely priceless.
We don't provide medical care. We provide a way to make it affordable.
Come see the wildest show on turf, University of Utah football. Season tickets are on sale now. Call 581-UTIX.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta will send you back to the Superdome in just a second. First, it's time for the Isuzu play of the day, and it comes from the Bears-Giants game at Soldier Field. Phil Simms takes the snap to Rodney Hampton, back to Simms, to Mark Jackson, the old Denver Bronco, who not only hauls it in, but goes into the zone with style. That is the Isuzu practically amazing play of the day. Now back to Gary and Pat.
We come back. The Houston Oilers trailing 19-7. Willie Drury will bring it out for Houston. Out across the 25 to the 28-yard line. As we come to the end of this first quarter, the Saints very opportunistic. They've scored 6 points on 2 turnovers. The last one coming on that 47-yard field goal by Morton Anderson.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
It's been our observation that where there's a popular car, there's a lease. And where there's a lease, there's one of these. And, well, here's ours, accompanied by the Fillmore String Quartet, who, by the way, would all fit very comfortably inside the Isuzu Trooper. Seeing how it's probably the most spacious four-wheel drive around. Why, they could probably even add another member if they wanted to. Maybe not.
Clear for Warren Moon. He needs 2 touchdowns. Don't worry about field goals now. 2 touchdowns.
Slaughter in motion. A little end around to Gibbons, and that didn't fool anybody. They had tripped over his own teammate as he tried to get out to the 30-yard line. Hey, Houston, after they started this game so impressively, have just not been able to get anything going since that big turnover back in the first quarter.
You know, it's usually the Houston offense that doesn't let you get into rhythm because, you know, they throw a ball here, there, and they're attacking all the time. But the Saints defense, honestly, has really gotten the Houston team out of rhythm. They haven't been able to get back to it since that first drive.
Well, they had an interception, 2 punts, and a missed field goal after that turnover in the first half. Completion to Gibbons, and he is pounded by Vince Buck. I mean, hit and short of the first down. Buck stopped him about a yard short.
Yeah, but Ernest Gibbons, one more time, just bounces right up. I mean, he takes a real shot from Vince Buck. I mean, think about Gibbons. He may be small, but he's not afraid to run through the...
Well, we have a personal foul now against New Orleans.
Maybe it was a shot to the head.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 91 defense, 15 yards, first down.
That's Robert Pig Golf, the defensive end. I did not see that at all. We were watching the hit by Vince Buck, so that will give them the first down. They were 2 yards short of it.
Well, the Saints, the least penalized team a year ago, #1 ranked defense. Special teams were great. But the only element they really missed was a dynamic offense. Tonight, the offense has been efficient. They put up 19 points on the board, and they have been efficient and made plays when they've had to.
And you saw how long they've had the football in the second half. Slaughter in motion, handoff to White. White dancing outside, and a lot of black shirts reacting to the ball. Sam Mills, who's just a delightful guy to be around, number 51. So bright, has tremendous vision, and when they play this dime defense, he's out there roving from sideline to sideline at linebacker.
He said it's really tough playing against his run and shoot as a middle linebacker because in a 34, he says, I know where people are coming from and who's going to block me. But in a run and shoot, I mean, it's all kinds of different guys. It's hard to get into a feel of where the blockers are coming.
Second down, 6 as we come close to 13 minutes left in the game. Flags everywhere. Ricky Jackson again looked like he may have left, but was he drawn? Ricky Jackson's so relentless.
Ball start before the snap on the center. 74.
Yeah, you know,
5 yards, second down.
Steve Sidwell was saying about Ricky Jackson that, you know, I keep waiting for him to slow down, Ricky Jackson. But now in his 13th year, he doesn't. There's Steve Sidwell. He's done a marvelous job with this defense over this years.
You can see Bruce Matthews now, the little movement here. And he saw it, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're watching the ball rather than listening to the quarterback.
35-year-old Ricky Jackson had his finest year last year. 5th time to go to the Pro Bowl. 2nd and 11. Moon surveys everything and has Jeffries on the receiving end as Haywood Jeffries will skip out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. Jimmy Spencer, who told us he would be trying to stay with Haywood Jeffries, and that's a tall assignment.
You know, Haywood Jeffries, he is at his best when the ball is in the air. I mean, all the other 3 receivers you can kind of, you know, fit in a phone booth. They're pretty small guys. But Haywood Jeffries has got some size. He's 6'2", and when the ball's in the air, he can adjust, just like he did in the 1 touchdown catch in the 1st quarter.
6th catch of the night for Haywood, 65 yards. 3rd down and 3. Slaughter adjusting to the ball. He and Vince Buck were kind of tangled up inside the 5. I tell you, Slaughter really fought his way to the football, just could not make the catch.
Yeah, you're talking about adjustments. Weston Slaughter was trying to adjust here, but it could have been called for offensive pass interference. Again, it's the roll away again. Good coverage there by Buck. And here's the play. That wasn't offensive pass interference. That was just great effort there by Webster Slaughter. Those are the kind of plays they haven't made tonight. The Saints have.
4th down, and they're going to go for it. 4th and 3. And a tremendous hit by Mills. The ball is picked up, and on his way is Frank Warren. Warren will take it in. It's a touchdown for New Orleans.
Defense of the Saints play all the time on offense and defense. It's one thing to blitz. It's the other to have it perfectly timed, know where the ball is, and strip it at the quarterback. I mean, that's what Sam Mills did. I mean, he did the study. He knew when in the film room, he knew when the snap count was going to be. Got off on a perfect line to Warren Moon, and he sets up Frank Warren.
And Frank Warren, 47 yards on the fumble recovery for the touchdown. 25-7. Anderson adds a point after. And the team picked by many to win the AFC. The Houston Oilers find themselves down 26-7 in the first game of the regular season.
No matter how uncomfortable life may get, with ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom, at least your underwear will be comfortable.
Linda, will you?
They don't just look good. They're made to hug your body.
Linda?
To move with you. Some things are bound to make you uncomfortable. With ribbed whites,
Linda,
your underwear will never be one of them. Ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Marry me.
Problems. 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 Solutions, solutions, solutions. Pour Gum Out fuel system cleaners right in your gas tank, and with just one tank full, you'll get better engine performance, performance, performance. Gum Out, solutions to engine problems. From the people at Pennzoil.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricant. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now, the best gel is Gillette Gel.
Unforgiven is a hit. Winner of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Eastwood's Best, and Instant Classic. One of the finest Westerns ever made. Unforgiven. Bring it home now.
This is a very quick play by Sam Mills. Watch how fast he gets on top of Warren Moon. No chance.
And Frank Warren, who never was known for his halfback ability, but maybe the fastest defensive lineman, by the way. They were telling me he can really get up and run, went 47 yards after that play by Mills. Here's the first return of the night against Gordon Anderson, and Marcus Dowdell was down there to make the tackle. A flag on the play at the 15-yard line. This crowd is pumped right now, and as well they should be. They'll lose goal use of the hands against the Houston Oilers.
Holding number 48 on the return, half the distance to the goal line. First down. Timeout.
26-7. The Saints with the lead. 11:52 left to go.
For centuries, the North Star has guided man's travels. Then the North Star system by Cadillac created a higher standard of automotive travel. Now its proven technologies will also guide the new Seville SLS, Eldorado, and coming October 7th, the North Star system will guide an entirely new class of luxury automobile, the Cadillac DeVille Concours. The advanced North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
Make it right, lose sight. Puts up a fight, lose sight. Stay so bright, beautiful sight, lose sight. Pure delight, lose sight. Dynamite, lose sight. Cross up right, excite, excite, lose sight. Wear the tight, lose sight. Feels so right, lose sight. Black and white, colors bright. Hold on tight, lose sight. A lasting sight, lose sight. For a finish that won't quit, lose sight, right.
Well, if that 26-7 lead holds up for the New Orleans Saints, there'll be some premature dancing on Bourbon Street. You can bet on that. But remember, the run and shoot can come back. By the way, right after the game, Fran Tarkin and Kevin Kiley will be with me on our post-game show. We'll be interviewing the players, and we'll talk to that big defensive lineman, Frank Warren, about running that ball back for the touchdown. We'll see you right after the game.
Okay, Bob. I tell you, Warren had that ball tucked away like he knew what he was doing, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought the game had expired, though, by the time he got to the end zone. I mean, that was the complete 2-minute drill. Just give him the ball and let him run.
Well, 13 points off of turnovers.
Well, you know, for the Houston Oilers now, they need, 3 touchdowns. Virtually impossible against this New Orleans Saints defense. And Warren Moon was talking yesterday to us about getting off to a fast start, getting the season off right, realizing this could be the last go-around. Clearly, it's not gone well.
Well, they lost their season opener last year to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the worst starting field position of the game now for Houston. Lorenzo White trying to get him some operating room. Comes out close to the 10-yard line. It'll bring up a second down.
Jerry, I think about what Jim Mora told us, too, this week, that he said, hey, we have to score at least 20 points to win this game. Now, he did say he expected the Oilers to score a lot. But he said, if we can score 20 points or more, we have a very good chance of winning this football game.
Jim Mora came in here 6-2 against the AFC Central. Second down and 7. That's almost intercepted. The ball intended on the near side for Curtis Duncan. And Vince Buck, further up the field, had all kinds of ideas of picking that one off and taking it in.
Yeah, he had larceny in his heart, but his feet were too honest, I mean, he did.
Is that a poem or something? That
probably
sounds poetic.
I don't know, somebody said too long. The larceny in his heart, his feet were too honest. But, everybody in the stands anticipated that interception. They saw what was developing. They thought he was going to get a chance to step in front of the pass and score. But again, it's just a little too far out of his reach.
Third down, 7. Gibbons had to go to his knees, now giving ground, and wait a minute, I think they're going to rule that ball was trapped. It's incomplete. Gibbons went down, and now we have a little fight breaking out. Torrey Cook and Gibbons were going after each other, but the ball was incomplete as Gibbons had to go to his knees. Frustrated Houston team, quite obviously.
Well, this has been a frustrated team since their playoff loss to Buffalo a year ago.
That's an interesting point, because Warren Moon said we need to get this season started so people quit talking about that big comeback, the game we lost to the Buffalo Bills.
Here's the non-catch. I don't know about that.
Well, I think it skipped. I think it hit. Yeah.
Necessary roughness, 81 Houston. After the play, the down count. The down count.
So it's 4th down, and then Gibbons is given a personal foul, and we've got a timeout. 11:04 left to go. Houston frustrated, obviously, trailing 26-7.
ZCMI offers you 12 months interest-free on the best in electronics, furniture, and so much more. Receive 12 months interest-free. Monday only on everything from recliners, TVs and stereos, to computers. Monday only. ZCMI knows what you want. But hurry, 12-month interest-free Monday doesn't last forever.
The results are in. A Dan Jones survey asked Wasatch Front adults to name their favorite fine dining restaurant. And the #1 choice? Muldoon's. Not only the favorite, but also #1 in where to impress an out-of-town guest. And #1 in menu variety. Why Muldoon's? Because they offer truly memorable dining with a complimentary evening shrimp bowl. For lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch, it's Muldoon's, selected #1 for fine dining. What else is there to say? How about thanks, Utah?
It's the Chevy authorized year-end clearance sale at your neighborhood Rocky Mountain Chevy Geo dealer. Now till September 22nd, you'll get over $1,900 in option discounts, up to $1,500 in cash back, and this decade's lowest interest. Act now and lease a '93 full-size Chevy pickup for just $229 a month for only 24 months. Factory authorized year-end clearance now till September 22nd at your neighborhood Rocky Mountain Chevy Geo dealer.
Sunday night NFL on TNT. The rivalry between the Raiders and Seahawks goes beyond words. Better not sit too close to this one. Raiders, Seahawks. Next Sunday night on TNT.
26-7 just a moment ago. Back to punt the football. Greg Montgomery for the Houston Oilers. Now watch what happens. He gets rid of this punt. And then James Williams comes piling into him, running into the kicker. That'll be an automatic first down, a 15-yard penalty. And so the Oilers have a new life. Meanwhile, we have a man hurt for the Houston Oilers, Bucky Richardson.
He's that third-team quarterback we talked about who's made a heck of a tackle there.
Oh,
right knee.
Man, I hate to see that.
Man.
Bent backwards, and so they are looking him over at the 38-yard line. But what this amounts to is the Oilers are going to have the ball now at the 20-yard line.
That's a really stupid play by New Orleans. I mean, you're up 26-7. You have them backed in your end zone punting. I mean, it's okay to rush the punter, hurry him a little bit, but if you're going to, you rush him from the side and dive away from him, so you're not going to get a roughing the kicker penalty when you're protecting a lead.
Let's take another angle at the Williams miscue. Boy, I tell you, Damon Winston was also there. So Richardson, fortunately, is walking off on his own power. And so the Oilers have a shot. Yeah, they're at the 20 as Richardson retreats to the far sideline. 10:53 left in the game. Houston has all three of their timeouts, trailing 26-7.
You know, Gary, one of the things I'm really surprised about with Houston, and we talked about it the last few days, is they're one of the great screening teams in the NFL, and we have not seen Lorenzo White on a screen. And they're a good screening team because they have offensive linemen who can get out there and block little defensive backs. And secondly, people play a lot of zone defense against them to guard against the run and shoot.
And boy, that's a good way to negate all that rush that they've been getting. 4 first downs in this half for Houston, and 2 of them by penalty. Moon going up top. Haywood Jeffries comes up with the catch. No, he was out of bounds. And the bench over there pleading their cause But that's not going to change the call. He was out of bounds when he made the grab.
So we talked about him being very good when the ball's in the air. One. Nope. Yeah. Good call. Still was a heck of a catch.
Well, they need a quick strike if they're going to somehow try to pull this one out, and that could have really helped their cause. It'll bring up now 2nd and 10.
Yeah, when you're playing zone defense as the Saints are, though, you shouldn't be beaten deep. And if zone is purposely designed for that, don't give up a big play.
Moon, there's a screen over the middle. Lorenzo White stays on his feet to the 25-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5 there. Gene Atkins, the free safety, over to make the tackle.
And the reason that screen didn't work, Gary, is that Warren Moon had to throw that ball a little too high, a little too much loft on it because of the rush to get it over the defenders. The ball was in the air a long time, and then the defenders were able to make the play.
Approaching 10 minutes to go in the game. The ball is loose. At the 5-yard line, Toy Cook has it, but it was benched back on the blitz, and Warren Moon hit from the same side for the 2nd time, and we have him down. That's the 4th turnover in the game for the Houston Oilers.
Very reminiscent of the opener last year against Pittsburgh. Off the corners. Off the corners when their defensive backs came in and blitzed him. Same thing the Saints have done. Have taken a page at the Pittsburgh Steelers blitz, and you see both guys come up top, Buck and Cook. One makes the fumble, causes the fumble, and Cook makes the recovery.
And Moon is still down at the 15.
Remember when Rod Woodson did it in the opener last year a few times?
Yes.
Really the same play, the same design. It's Buck on the hit, and Toy Cook on the recovery.
Okay, this Saints team is a nasty streak, don't they? They just come out and pound you.
You wondered, hey, with the Saint defense, they had some age on them. They lost Pat Swelling to the Detroit Lions, but they have played magnificently tonight.
How about Toy Cook? With that fumble recovery, he now has an interception, a sack, and 5 tackles. He's done a little bit of everything. Well, we have Moon being looked at. We're going to take a look at Week 1 in the NFL on the Silver Bullet scoreboard. And the Giants behind Phil Simms, winning as Dave Wanstead made his debut in the regular season. Packers look very good today against the Rams. Eagles beating the Cardinals. Remember Hebron, Vince Hebron, the free agent rookie, impressed us in the preseason. Lions over the Falcons. This was quite a finish. Marino marched him down the field, and with the winning touchdown with a matter of seconds left in the game. Look at those numbers on it.
Keith Jackson, big game for the Dolphins, 2 touchdowns.
Bills defeating Bill Parcells, who made his debut with the Patriots. Bledsoe with a very creditable day. We said earlier the Chargers had 6 field goals. Boy, Warren Moon really groggy.
And there's a great player, a classy guy, and what he's got to find a way to do, though, is try to rally this team next week. Tough game.
Wade Phillips winning. We saw Bum Phillips here. He works on the Oilers radio network, and he was proud of his son winning that ball game. 49ers, Steve Young coming back from that thumb injury. The Raiders behind Hostetler. Look at those numbers, Pat. 23 of 27. And that brings us to next Sunday from the Kingdome, Seattle and the LA Raiders. Cody Carlson would come in if Moon couldn't continue. As now we start this drive at the 5, and Derek Brown takes it to the 2-yard line. 9:45 left, and the Saints enjoying a 26-7 lead, and with a chance now to add to that. And here is Cody Carlson, who did a very good job last year when Moon went down with an injury.
Yeah, Cody Carlson can play. I mean, he is their quarterback of the future if things don't work out this year, and there's the likelihood if they don't go to the Super Bowl. It's been widely reported that Warren Moon may not be back as the is the quarterback, but they feel that Cody Carlson can be their guy.
Neal and Brown in the backfield. Pitch to Brown. Brown makes a nice sideways move, diving for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown.
"32 unanswered points by the Saints. I tell you, this offensive line really has done a terrific job tonight. They got him the first couple of yards, and then Derek Brown carried 2 Oiler defenders in the last couple of yards.
Remember, at the other end, he couldn't get that ball into the end zone, but he did this time.
Sure did.
Morton Anderson, point after attempt. Boy, this is in the category of stunning. 33-7. 20 points now off of 4 Houston Oiler turnovers.
"120 years ago, when people wanted to send us a letter, all they had to do was write Coors, Golden, Colorado on the envelope. That'll still work today. So if you want to drop us a line about beer or baseball or whatever, it'll get here. Honest."
This Camel system is so adaptive, it can travel 50 miles in desert heat without taking fluid, making it one of the world's most dependable animals. This automobile system is so adaptive that if necessary for your safety, it is engineered to travel 50 miles in desert heat without a single drop of coolant, which might also tell you something about its dependability. The Seville STS with the North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
Airbags, seat belts, and anti-lock brakes, child safety seats, careful driving, and a set of Michelins.
Pizza Hut has gone Hollywood with a blockbuster Bigfoot movie deal. You get a coupon for 1 free movie rental at Blockbuster Video with any other movie rental. It's a blockbuster deal from Pizza Hut.
33-7, the Saints, who just scored point number 20 off of the turnovers. And Morton Anderson will kick off, and we'll see a new quarterback for Houston. Cody Carlson will be coming in as soon as they set up shop. Gary Brown will get a return on this one. Almost didn't put it away, and then ceremoniously dumped at the 15-yard line. Did the ball come loose, or was it blown dead? It did come loose. Marcus Dowdell was down there to make the stop. It'll be Houston's football. And Cody Carlson now will come in at quarterback for the Oilers. Here's a guy who started 6 games last year. He was 4-2 in those starts, and as one of the coaches put us, every game he put us in a position to win, even in the 2 they lost.
Yeah, that was Kevin Gilbride who said that. And what you have in Cody Carlson is a proven quarterback. I mean, this guy is not just a backup.
Gary Brown, by the way, who returned that kickoff, is the player that's down right now at the 15-yard line. Well, Carlson signed a big contract as well. In fact, they have 2 quarterbacks in Moon and Carlson. Next year will get paid $6.5 million between them.
Well, that's where the salary cap comes in. I don't think they'll both be there. Now, this is a year, you know, it's just not enough for either one of these teams to go 10-6 and make the playoffs. I mean, the Houston Oilers have one goal. That's get to the Super Bowl and win it. The Saints are kind of in the same boat. They're 10 and, you know, they can't afford a 10-6 and then an opening round loss in the playoffs again. They need to get to that next level. They're hoping Wade Wilson can do that. You know, the Oilers went out and made a big change defensively, and anytime your quarterback changes, you're going to be a different team by definition.
Well, you got to remember one thing. Only the 49ers and Bills have won more regular season games in the last 6 years in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean, you forget how successful they've been because the Saints haven't been able to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This gives us an opportunity to remind you of the movie coming up after the ball game in the year 2274, which I don't expect to be around for. People are being hunted down like animals.
Oh, no.
That's today, isn't it?
Yeah. I hate when
Find out tonight as Farrah Fawcett stars in her big screen debut, Logan's Run, coming up tonight after the Holiday Inn Stadium show. I saw that movie. I never understood it. Maybe if I watch it tonight, I'll figure it out.
You didn't understand Old Yeller either.
Carlson throws to Givens. Ernest Givens across the 25, 30, breaks out of there. Good effort by Ernest Givens. He's been a little frustrated, and that'll salve some of the wounds as he runs to the 42.
He won some of Maxey, too. I mean, he lost his gold chain. You see that, too?
Oh.
You see he lost the gold chain, and Curtis Duncan took it off his neck. I mean, he and Vince Buck have been going after one another this entire game. Gets the ball to Givens, breaks the tackle, and then it's going to be Buck, number 26. He had a penalty called on him earlier with in a little altercation with Buck, and he lost his gold chain.
And the Oilers have Mike Munchak, their 8-time Pro Bowler, down at the 13-yard line. He's had some knee problems. He's been around for so long, and let's just hope that isn't what that injury's all about.
You talk about a bad opening day. I mean, you're getting blown out 33-7. Your quarterback gets hurt, starting offensive lineman.
Let's look at the Oiler injury list just prior to this game tonight. Marshall and Lathan. Lathan broke the arm. He will not be back next week, but they expect Marshall and Williams back. Dumas is out for the year, as is Flannery. Wilbur Marshall was a guy that they thought might be the final link to the Super Bowl, and obviously they'd like to have had him tonight.
I'm not sure Wilbur Marshall would have been the difference tonight.
We're going to figure out how Munchak hurt this leg. Let's look at it.
It's Phil Matthews, number 74, Bruce Matthews. Ouch. Ouch. Oh. Now, mind you, Matthews weighs 291 pounds right on the ankle of Mike Munchak. And oftentimes in down there in the pits where offensive linemen and defensive linemen, it's not the opponent that does it. It's one of your own guys, one of the big bodies that gets tossed into you.
Well, the catch by Givens brought it out to the 42. 8:45 left in this game. 33-7, New Orleans. Saints next week play the Falcons in Atlanta. Detroit here. 49ers here at the Rams. That's the next game's up for Jim Mora. Here's Lorenzo White. White banging bodies. Takes it to the 50-yard line. It'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. On the other hand, this Houston team has Kansas City. It'll be Moon and Montana going against each other in the Astrodome next week.
Well, you know, the NFL season, Gary, really is a marathon. And as a disappointing a night as it was for Warren Moon and for the Houston Oilers, they've got to find a way to get themselves ready for that Kansas City team, a very good Kansas City team, and still try to erase those memories from a year ago. I mean, Buffalo was bad enough. Now they have to worry about remembering the Saint game.
Yeah, they're not going to forget about that Bills loss after this one. Cody Carlson back, got time, goes up top. The ball is overthrown, intended for Webster Slaughter.
Had him for a touchdown. Cody Carlson has a very strong arm and can throw the ball in a small passing lane. You know, you said he was 4-2 as a starter a year ago, threw for 9 touchdowns. And the thing is, the Oilers are one of probably 4 or 5 teams with a proven backup, a guy who come in, you can hand the ball to and say, win the game. And you don't worry about him. He can do it.
Carlson last year completed 66% of his passes. Third down, 3 yards to go. White got it. Nice seeing eye run that time by Lorenzo White as he's able to get to the 42. Von Johnson, Ronaldo Turnbull made the stop. Time 7:26 remaining. Houston has all 3 of their timeouts, trailing surprisingly 33-7. They scored the first 7 points of this game. A little shock on the faces there.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise to the Oilers tonight too, Gary, is the defense. Didn't cause turnovers, no turnovers, really didn't pressure Wade Wilson as much as everybody anticipated.
Gibbons in motion. Carlson getting some time now, being scrambled down by Ronaldo Turnbull. That is the 4th sack of the game for the New Orleans Saints, and Turnbull, the guy that they thought could fill in when they traded Pat Swilling to the Detroit Lions. That'll move the ball back out to the 48-yard line.
Here's Turnbull up here and Donnelly. When we started off the game and said that was one of the key matchups to this game. Ronaldo Turnbull has been pretty good on the run, and right here just gets rid of Donnelly, fakes him, throws him inside, and makes the sack on Carlson.
2nd down and 16. Carlson. Duncan. Oh, what a catch! Duncan gets up. No, they're going to say he was down at the 1, but what a catch by Curtis Duncan. He was a contortionist that time, bending backwards. That's a 47-yard completion.
That is a remarkable catch by Curtis Duncan. I mean, you talk about adjusting when the ball is in the air.
Oh.
Man, almost got stuck in his face mask. I don't know why they didn't let him score there.
Well, I didn't think he touched him either. Let's see. Yeah, I may have touched him when he went by.
Did he?
That's what they're saying anyway.
In any event, I'll tell you, this is a guy, Curtis Duncan, who doesn't get as much credit as the other guys, but made a spectacular adjustment there.
4 catches for 90 yards. Carlson in zone and thrown behind the intended receiver. Hayward Jeffries, the intended receiver. We've been told now officially the feet of the defender touched him, so he was ruled down. 2nd and goal. Stops the clock with 5:39 left to go. Carlson's moved this team in a hurry. This guy's big. He's 6'3". He looks even bigger than that. 202 pounds. Played collegiately at Baylor.
Standing next to Warren Moon before the game, I mean, and Warren's 6'3". He looked bigger than that.
Yeah, he did. Carlson on an option, takes it in for the touchdown. Well, he probably ran that for Grant Taft at Baylor.
Yeah.
And so Carlson scores, and that is their first point since way back in the first quarter at the 8:47 mark of the game.
Set up by just a remarkable catch by Curtis Duncan. Option play still inside the 5-yard line, the most difficult play to defend because you can't account for the quarterback. Makes everybody play passive defense when you have to defend the option, and Cody Carlson dances in for a touchdown.
Del Greco now point after with 5:35 left in the game. 85-yard drive and 8 plays. 33-14. Houston trailing, but this guy giving him a little life here and something maybe to build on next week when they meet the Kansas City Chiefs. And looking ahead to next week, that reminds us that we'll head out to Seattle, and we'll be bringing you the Los Angeles Raiders, Seattle Seahawks. That's Jeff Hostetler, the Hoss, who played so well today, 23 of 27 completion-wise.
Interesting to see if the Raiders break out the Rocket.
That's right.
He's with them now. I mean,
he did not play today.
Yeah.
But could be ready to go next week.
You know, the Raiders have really some great offensive personnel. And I think with Jeff Hostetler, they're much stronger and better at quarterback this year. It could be kind of an interesting team in the AFC West, the Raiders.
So that'll all start with the Silver Bullet Stadium show, 7:30 Eastern, next Sunday. Game 2, second week of the 93 season. Meanwhile, Haywood and his company will have to get ready for the Chiefs, who I just thought today played as well as they could play. Joe Montana hit his first 9 passes in the ball game, and
every kind of throw, long, short, right on the money. You know, the receivers, when Montana throws it, the receivers don't have to adjust much.
You know what I was also impressed by, Pat, was his escapability today a couple of times.
Is that a word?
Is it? I don't know.
You just made it one, but okay, I get what you mean, yeah. No, he can move around. I mean, you know, he can kind of move around that pocket. He's not going to make you forget Carl Lewis or anything like that, but he can move around the pocket.
Barishnikov, somebody like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Del Greco, escapability is not a word.
Well, it could be. I just don't hear it often except from you.
Well, let's look it up after the game, okay?
You got it. I happen to have my dictionary with me. Welcome, Wagnall.
The Sarah's with you, whatever, huh? Here's Del Greco kicking off. And Dalton Hilliard going to try to run over to it. It'll go out of the back of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. New Orleans in their first possession punted. In their last 7 now, they've had 3 touchdowns and 4 field goals. That's been pretty productive, don't you think? From the 20-yard line now, Wade Wilson will continue at quarterback. You know, last year, the Saints, 4 losses by a total of 13 points. It shows you how close they were in those games that they lost.
Well, you know, they said they needed to score at least 20 points tonight. They've clearly done that at 33 points. They said generally they like to keep those games close and win them in the 4th quarter, but they won this one really, I think, in the 2nd quarter.
Irv Smith, their second pick on the 1st round out of Notre Dame, the tight end is in. He was in motion, and to give to Derek Brown, and Brown brings it out to the 25-yard line. And so now they just want to take some time off the clock. This is the x-rays of Bucky Richardson, who was hurt, you might recall, on a special teams play earlier.
You can tell that just by the bones. That's Bucky Richardson.
Yeah, some of my medical background.
That is incredible.
Isn't it, though? It just amazes me. From the 25-yard line, 2nd down now and 5. Bucky's kind of interested, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can understand why. On a 2nd and 5 from the 25, hammering it straight ahead is that little bowling ball guy by the name of Lorenzo Neal. Boy, he's going to be quite an addition to this football team.
They really did find out something about Lorenzo Neal. They were, you know, unfortunate to lose Brad Muster. They thought Brad Muster could really help this offensive team. But as you look at when Muster comes back and you still have Lorenzo Neal, this could be a better offensive team than they had a year ago. I mean, I didn't think that. I thought when they lost Bobby Hebert, they lost a pretty good quarterback for this system. But Wade Wilson has played very well tonight, and Lorenzo Neal looks like he's the real deal.
1st down at the 32-yard line. Here comes Neal again, and look at this. He comes out of the pile. He's to the 45, hand fighting with Chris Dishman. Dishman finally is able to get him out, and we have a flag. Look at this. He is the real deal. 29-yard run by Lorenzo Neal.
He is so happy to be playing. He said he was just so happy to make a roster. Which would have been happy playing special teams. But instead, you know, some guys move the pile, as he's done tonight, and then other guys can break out of the pile. You know, the Oilers at this point just trying to go for the ball, cause a fumble.
That little shot at the end cost him 15. That was a personal foul against Dishman, so they add some more yardage onto that run. You know, you're talking about Wade Wilson. Buddy Ryan said something interesting about him. He says he is a fast starting quarterback, meaning he plays well early in the season. It'll be interesting to see if he can sustain that as the year wears on. Now, I don't know statistically if he can support that or not.
Yeah, well, I just remember he had one great playoff game with Minnesota against the 49ers a few years ago.
1st down after the penalty and the run inside the 25. 3:54 left in the game. Neal again. Maybe a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down. Jim Dombrowski is in there now, number 72. He did not start tonight. He was late. He was a 29-day holdout for a contract, and so his string of 90 straight starts ended because they started Chris Port.
Well, Dombrowski has been a guy that over the last 8 years has played very, very well for the Saints. Terrific pass blocker. But I tell you, Chris Port came in tonight and started in his place, and he was the one who threw one of the key blocks when Derek Brown scored earlier.
Well, Dombrowski got a 5-year deal, so I guess the 29-day holdout worked. 2nd down and 9.
Who cares about the start?
That's right. Here is Neal, and he gets to the 20. The ball comes out of there, and running with it is Robertson. It may be a live ball. No one's stopping it, and Robertson is going to sprint all the way to the end zone, and one of the officials trailing the play looking around. Does it count? Let's wait. No signal yet.
Nobody seems to know here.
Bob McElwee will run down. He's saying, what do we got here? And here's one now signaling touchdown in the end zone. Boy, with that.
He doesn't look terribly confident.
No, he doesn't.
Does he?
Well, that was a very subtle call of a touchdown.
Yeah, he didn't really want to put those arms up.
Wow.
There it is. Now it's official.
And that doesn't look like he was very convinced. That was Robertson, Marcus Robertson. That's going to be an 80-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
Well, you know, the turnovers are coming a little bit too late. Well, now it's going to be a 12-point game. Now it starts to get a little more interesting. Good block by Rolfe again, number 77. He just dominated his man. Great block by Rolfe. Now he just, you know, Dishman just pulls it away.
Yep.
I mean, I think the Saints are arguing he's down, and he may have been, but Dishman pulls it away, and Robertson makes the touchdown.
And Dishman escorting him in. Boy, it was hard to tell from that angle whether he was down, but there's a very big concern about that, and Jim Moore not happy at all as Del Greco adds a point after, so now it's a 33-21 game.
Interesting. It gets a little interesting with 2:47 left of the game. I thought maybe he may have been stopped, his momentum been stopped and down, but Dishman trying to make a play, trying to make something happen, caused the fumble.
Moore still checking with the officials on this. That may have been the most nonchalant 80-yard run I've ever seen in a football
You're right.
game.
Now, Moore is arguing that Lorenzo Neal was stopped. I'm not so sure he was. You're going to take another look here at Lorenzo Neal. First of all, the block by the tackle, 77, is a dominating one. But he's still moving. The pile's still moving. When it gets pulled out, see, the ball gets pulled there. I think he's still moving. I think it's a live ball.
We have a ground level shot as well. Peter Lasser, our producer, and Lonnie Dale, our director. Let's look at it. Oh, I don't know now. That knee looks like it might have been down.
There, the knee was down. Yep.
I think the ground level indicates he was down.
You're right on that one, Gary. Yeah, that angle shows you the left knee did touch.
Let's look at the ground level one more time and see if it changes our thinking. But let's watch Neal.
Down, left knee down there.
Yeah. No question. That was wrestled out by Dishman after he was down. Boy, would that be something if that would turn out to be a play that could turn this game around. Now they're going to try an onside kick here.
Well, now we have a very interesting game going now. 33-21, 2:47. Oilers have all three of their timeouts.
And if they get this onside kick, it'll be very interesting. Del Greco will kick it to the far side. Saints with all the guys with those good hands up front. Here it comes, has to go 10 yards. It does. Broken up, and I believe Houston got it. They did. Coming up with it was the Houston Oilers.
I think it was Mike Teeter.
Mike Teeter, a defensive end. He is a free agent out of Michigan, and Teeter came up with it after the ball had been deflected. Let's look at it.
Onside kicks are much easier on AstroTurf because you can get a bounce like this. It's a much more consistent bounce. I tell you, it was a good Tony Brown, number 22, blocked the man, allowed Teeter to make the recovery.
Wow.
But, you know, in the NFL, these are only successful less than 10% of the time, onside kicks.
The crowd is angry, but can the Saints now come back from this adversity? 2:41 left in the game. First down at the 47. Screen over the middle to White. Lorenzo White to the 40. Very close to another first down. Toy Cook made the stop. As Pat mentioned, all three timeouts remaining for Houston.
The first successful screen the Oilers have run now.
The 38 of New Orleans. Carlson over the middle. That ball was deflected. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 2:15 remaining. And it'll bring up a third down now and still a yard to go for the first down.
When Pat Swilling was here, not only did he make sacks, but he made sacks in critical times. Ronaldo Turnbull has had a good evening. But can he make the plays at the critical time in the game that Pat Swilling did? That's what they don't know. But now it's time to find out.
Boy, it's tough to crank it up again, though, isn't it, when you think you've got this thing well in hand. Carlson with time, then the ball deflected again. Good pressure put on, and it's a fourth down and a yard with 2:10 left in the game.
Yeah, Donnelly, Kevin Donnelly does the job on Turnbull this time. We said now's the time to make the plays. But Donnelly gets the better of him. Plenty of protection there for Carlson. There was somebody else going by who knocked the ball, but it was not Ronaldo Turnbull.
Somebody got a piece of it because that ball wasn't even close.
No, that's 4th down.
Yep, 4th down in the yard. Boy, that's a busted play. Flags everywhere. Carlson started out from underneath center. The snap count might not have been right. Then he gave it to White, and he didn't know where to go.
Give that one to the crowd. Crowd noise.
Illegal motion. Offense. Penalty is declined.
New Orleans has got the football. Wow, you'd like to at least have a crack at it on 4th down.
Give that one to the crowd. With a loud crowd, you can't go on a quick count or an early count. The lineman can't hear you.
So, New Orleans really dodges a problem. After the remarkable 80-yard fumble recovery of a touchdown and the successful onside kick, this thing was starting to unravel. But they hold, and they have it now at their own 43 with 2:05 left in the game. This has been a strange game.
No, it has. It's really been a start and stop and stuttering, and turned out to be actually kind of interesting the last few minutes, though.
So they'll go to the 2-minute warning after this snap. Here is Neal, and Neal hanging on this time.
Yeah.
And maybe a yard. And so the 2-minute warning now here at the Louisiana Superdome. And some more pushing and shoving again. So the Saints with a 33-21 lead.
The world's top husband and wife spy team have just added a junior partner.
See mommy picking the big lock? When you're a big girl, she'll teach you how to pick locks.
Undercover Blues, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, September 10th at theaters everywhere.
It's not just a high-performance tire. It's a Michelin. So it does things ordinary tires just can't do. The XGT series from Michelin.
Pizza Hut has gone Hollywood with a blockbuster Bigfoot movie deal. You get a coupon for 1 free movie rental at Blockbuster Video with any other movie rental. It's a blockbuster deal from Pizza Hut.
I was born
in a small town. That's where my customers are.
Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Hope.
The Northwest Southeast is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Here's a sport to try. Gillette Sensor has a sporty new look. Sensor Sport. Because it's not whether you win or lose. It's how you look playing the game.
33-21. 2 minutes left in this first game of the 1993 season. And if you've just joined us, New Orleans, a surprising win here tonight. If they can put away the remaining 2 minutes. They started out trailing 7-0. And then were able to take a 13-7 halftime lead, 19-7 after 3 quarters. And then after it looked like they had this game pretty well put away, a remarkable, unusual, bizarre play, an 80-yard return on a fumble recovery made things uneasy. But the Saints have held, and they have the ball now at the 45. Here's Lorenzo Neal, and Neal will be tackled, and the Oilers expected to use the timeout here as they have all 3 remaining. So they stop it with 1:51, and that gives us the opportunity to announce tonight's Cadillac player of the game, and it's Toy Cook, the cornerback of the New Orleans Saints. Look at those numbers: 5 tackles, a sack, interception, and a fumble recovery. First one we're going to look at is the sack that Toy Cook came up with.
Again, it's one of those perfectly timed blitzes off the corner, just beat Munchak, and he came up with an interception that he had. Actually, he had 2 of them. One was called back. This one, he just stole it from Duncan. And Duncan actually had it for a while, and then Toy Cook took it away. And then, not to be outdone, you also had a fumble recovery. After the sack by Buck, the other corner, Toy Cook, is hustling, makes a play. I mean, it has been an incredibly productive evening for Toy Cook.
And one other play. Remember the first big drive, he made a remarkable deflection of a pass, hurt his knee, and we thought, oh boy, that may be something that'll take him out. But he recovered from that. This guy was a center fielder on the Stanford National Championship team, and they had a pitcher by the name of Jack McDowell, who'll probably win the Cy Young Award.
Well, you know, he's got his own post-game show here locally that's seen in the New Orleans area. He'll be
have a lot to
smiling out.
talk about.
He's going to be his own guest. He's given himself his own MVP
going to interview
award.
himself? Is that what it is? Third down and 5. Eric Brown. And Brown across the 50, a couple of yards short of the first down. Ray Childers made the stop. Oilers still pushing and shoving with the Saints. And they're going to use another timeout. Clock is still rolling with 1:32 and running. It'll be a 4th down and 4th down and a yard, and now they'll use their second timeout.
Well, this is where you hate to be a punter because you know they're coming after you.
That means Tommy Barnhart will get this very anxious moment. What a year he had. Last year he had a club record average of 44 yards a kick. Coming up, the Holiday Inn Stadium Show. We'll be joining Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley, and Fran Tarkenton. They'll look at this very unusual game, the start of our regular season here on TNT. Have some guests. Think Toy Cook might be on there?
Yeah, he'd be a good guest.
There they are.
Busy
Ready to
work.
roll.
Look at that.
On the set, as they call it here. This is only the second punt of the game now for New Orleans. Shows you how resourceful they've been in this ball game.
So Tommy Barnhart's not going to get a letter.
You know, the thing that happens about the Saints is people sometimes don't give them the respect they deserve. And tonight, I think, is a very good example. They came out here after trailing 7-0 and just took this game over.
Well, they're not even going to let Houston punt it, which is the right move. Jim Morrill has made the. You can have a disaster, a touchdown, easy touchdown scored.
So they'll go for it then.
Yeah.
4th down, they'll go for it.
Even if they don't get it, the Oilers are still going to have to go, over 50 yards.
I want to thank the public relations directors of both the Houston Oilers, Chip Namias, and the New Orleans Saints, Rusty Kazmersky, for their help in preparing for tonight's game. Getting us the guys, the players, and the coaches, and all the X's and O's. 4th down. And now he's going to use a timeout.
No, it's good to be delay a game. They're just trying to draw them offside.
They're going to take a delay a game, and so they'll have a 5-yard penalty, and now they'll send Barnhart in.
Well, now I'm not so sure I hate this. You know, if you're the punter, you certainly hate this situation because you know what the Houston Oilers are thinking.
Wilson saying, I tried to get them offside.
Yeah, you just give up after a while.
Yeah. Roger Riley, our statistician here tonight. Tom Delnos, our spotter. Peter Lasser, our producer. Lonnie Dale, the director. Technical director, Dennis Stone. Bob McGee, our technical manager. Stephanie Ray Bradley, the unit manager. Associate director, Scott Cockrell, and Joe Vincius. Joe V with a new haircut. A graphics coordinator, Mark Silverman and Ted Ballard. And Shannon Mizell, the guy who keeps us in line as the guy who controls the booth. Here comes Drury out to the 17, and you heard that hit.
Ouch!
That is Williams and Newman over there. It's going to be Patrick Newman, though, that made the initial contact.
I mean, Patrick Newman is a wide receiver, but he made that tackle like a linebacker.
1:20 left to go. 1 timeout left for the Oilers. One thing the Saints were kind of glad is that they would face the Oilers run and shoot, then play the red gun of Atlanta and Detroit, who's using some run and shoot in the first 3 weeks of the season. That adjusted to all that, possibly. Cody Carlson. Lorenzo White can't hang on at the 20-yard line. That was Turnbull, who was covering him very closely over the middle. That'll stop the clock with 1:14 to go. What about next week? Ricky Meyer, Seattle, Jeff Hostetler for the Raiders. Raiders getting off very well with the win, and it looks like Seattle really has a very good defense, allowing only 6 field goals today by San Diego.
Well, they played pretty good defense a year ago. I mean, and I think what Seattle's been trying to do is get their quarterback situation resolved for, I don't know, well, 3 #1 draft picks they've used in the position. They think they got the guy in Rick Meyer, and so do I.
And flags everywhere on a 2nd down 10 snap. Talk about a noisy place.
Before the snap, number 77, offense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
That's Kevin Donnelly, the tackle. You talk about a noisy place. The Kingdome can really get noisy. It's noisy here at the Superdome. And, of course, the Astrodome has their own problems as far as noise is concerned.
That's the 12th penalty now on Houston, Gary. And again, they have a number of things they have to correct, but it was really the momentum changed early in the game, and they haven't played well since then.
Carlson on 2nd and 15, and Gibbons dropped it at the 25.
Well, that ball had some steam on it.
Yep.
You still have to catch those.
You know, go ahead, Pat.
That was just a big-time throw.
You know, the Saints this year play 10 of their 16 games in domes this year.
Saints do?
Yep. And they were 8-2 last year in dome games, so they like to play inside. I tell you what, it's a good thing we played inside today. It was so hot outside. Oh, man, we went jogging this morning. You about had to carry me back.
And carried you again tonight.
I let myself have that. I deserve that. Here, Carlson, nice recovery to Slaughter. He picks the ball up and rifles a strike, a 21-yard gain.
You know, you see why Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, likes Cody Carlson. I mean, he's a big guy, can move around the pocket, and he's got a gun for an arm. I mean, he can really wing it.
Carlson again to White, and White across the 35 to the 37. Clock running now with 40 seconds.
You know, this is a team that's going to have to fight expectations and the tag underachievers all year long. This is a terrible way to get a season started. But they started the season the same way a year ago in a loss to Pittsburgh and rallied for 11 wins.
Here's Carlson showing, I won't use the word escapability, but flexibility as he runs to the far side, and he gets the first down. So that'll stop the clock with 19 seconds to go.
Houston's defense, no turnovers, 2 sacks. It really wasn't the kind of defense I think that anybody anticipated. Jim Mora happy with his offensive line tonight. They really did a good job. And I think in William Rofe, his right tackle, he's got a guy that's going to play there for a long time and play there well for a long time.
You know, Mora is the NFC's longest tenured coach with the same team.
Yeah,
that shows you the real job security in coaching, right? Carlson going for all of it. Reggie Brown is down there, but 3 defenders around him. Incomplete with 11 seconds left to go in the game.
The things about Jim Mora's teams, too, Gary, is, you know, sometimes they don't look like they're in sync, and maybe they aren't the most entertaining team in football, but they do play hard all 4 quarters.
This win will make Jim Mora 4-4 in season openers. You can see what he's done against AFC teams.
It's great to win your opener in the NFL. I mean, it's such a relief to get off to that good start. So if you're Jim Mora and you're Wade Wilson and all those guys in the New Orleans Saints team, I mean, this is a big day for you.
Oilers have used their final timeout with 11 seconds. 2nd down and 10. Well, Jack Pardee, interestingly enough, a lot of people have said that it's been Buddy Ryan in the spotlight, but Jack Pardee's team. I thought you had an interesting comment that he has enough security in himself and personality-wise to allow a Buddy Ryan to come in and be a defensive coordinator and try to make this thing work.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have a big ego. And the idea was to change the, you hate to keep using that word chemistry, but that's what this team needed. I mean, they're really somebody to really kind of shake up the mix, or mix it up. And they had that with Buddy Ryan. Now, it didn't work well tonight. But, that's, you know, again, it is a marathon season. It took Ryan's defense usually 2 or 3 years, really, to get it going in Chicago. He doesn't have the luxury of that this year with Houston because of the expectations. It's got to happen next week.
Jim Stanley, Buddy Ryan talking things over. And Buddy Ryan, kind of a cantankerous guy. I guess maybe that's a good word for him. But the players love the aggressive style of defense, that 46 that they play, and they come after people. But again, give credit to the Saints. They were equal to that and did not in any way let it ruffle their feathers, even though early in the game it looked like it was really going to do something with Wade Wilson. But Wilson just hung in there.
What about Morton Anderson? Morton Anderson, the guy, has now tied the NFL record for consecutive field goals at 24 with Kevin Butler. I mean, this guy is, you know, you could name him the most valuable player on this team because of the way they play offense.
I bet he'd like to kick that tonight, though, and not have to wait a week to try to break the record, don't you?
Yeah.
And there's a very good catch that time by Webster Slaughter, and they're going to give him the catch. No. Now, wait a minute. They're going to rule it incomplete. 4 seconds left. Slaughter was out of bounds, and we have a penalty play clear back at the 35-yard line.
Holding number 77 offense.
That is Donnelly. Donnelly's had a tough time tonight.
Yeah. Well, you know, that left tackle position is really clearly a difficult one to play, but one he just started playing. They had him at right guard last week, so it's a new position for him. One of the keys to the game, we said earlier, is pass protection. And then as this season goes on, it's going to be a very important part of the Oiler offense. How well he can protect Warren Moon's backside.
So it's now 2nd and 20. 4 seconds left. This should do it. Carlson completes it. They're going to have a little flea flicker maybe. No, Jeffrey then has it stripped. Jimmy Spencer's got it. Spencer on the run, and Spencer knocked out of bounds by Cody Carlson, and that ends it. You remember it was Spencer who had the big fumble recovery that turned this game around, the 41-yard return way back in the first quarter. I guess that's kind of a fitting climax to this game, huh?
This New Orleans Saints defense changes the complexion of every game they play because they come after you and they cause turnovers.
Jimmy Spencer, who was drafted by the Redskins, was on their practice squad, said he learned a lot from Darryl Green in that time. Has been a find for this team. And Warren Moon and the Oilers will have to get ready for Kansas City.
No matter how uncomfortable life may get, with ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom, at least you're